things aren't going to get easier. So having some kind of self-imposed constraint really would be important. Now, as I said, it doesn't have to be that debt's coming down in the 5th year of the forecast, though it's worth saying that is the loosest fiscal rule we have ever had. So that's, I think, the reason that Rachel Reeves said she agrees with Jeremy Hunt on this, because she couldn't think of a looser one, other than, as I said, you could have said, well, actually, trust us, we will take debt up by 5 percentage points of national income as we sort out the mess that we've inherited, and then we'll get it on the downward trajectory. Now, I think if she said that in a credible way, I think there are some risks with that. You might have got away with it, but then you have to say what that credible way is. But
just briefly on that, the holding view, which is the target should be for net debt, therefore you take the value of investment netted off against gross debt.
There are lots of things that matter when it comes to debt, and the first thing that matters, and the thing that's top of the Treasury's mind, is can we get shot at this stuff? Can we sell it to investors at a reasonable rate? Now that rate has gone up hugely in the last 3 years in a way that's completely unexpected, and whether you measure it net or gross, if the gross debt goes up, you've got to get shot more of it, and you will be paying more
and remind
interest
people how much we're paying. But remind us how much the government is paying every year just to service that enormous pile of debt.
I think it's somewhere in the region of £70 billion a year. So we're spending more on debt interest than on any public service bar the NHS. I mean, that's one way of thinking about it. That was certainly true last year. It's come down a little bit this year. So the amount that we're spending is really very big indeed, and it is actually one of the serious constraints on what we can do with other spending. So I think that is an important reason for being concerned about the debt. Now, you're right that investment in stuff that will make us better off in the future, it certainly ought to be a focus at the moment.
We want to grow the economy, and investment helps to grow the economy.
Indeed, but we actually need to start getting real about the fact, if we're going to do this, look, the other thing that can give is tax. And if that's what you want to do, if you want a health service that does this, if you want a pension at that level, if you want, if you want all these things, and investment at the moment is actually quite high by UK.
No, I don't think so.
It's terrible compared to other countries.
It's somewhat lower than other countries. Public investment in this country is not bad by UK historic levels.
Yeah, okay.
It's private investment in this country that is by far the worst internationally. Actually, public investment is a bit below the average. Private investment is way below. If we want this spending, again, let's front up and say we need it. You have to pay for it, rather than just push the cost down the road.
Again, your colleague said we shouldn't, spend our time worshipping the author of an independent fiscal authority with responsibility. But at the end of the day, the people who make these decisions should be the politicians, and they should not be delegating hard political choices to Richard Hughes and his technocrats. I mean, he's right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look how close he is.